Okay, so we are today going to create a new REPL. We are going to create a project where we'll practice this new function or this new element called a conditional statement. Conditional statements are like if something happens, if then what's the result? So we can make lots of different cool projects using conditional. It's a very popular thing to know how to do. So let's create a new REPL, make sure it's HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and we're going to call it the Magic 8 Ball. Let's go put no space. Alright, we'll start with the HTML part. I'll make this bigger, and then I'm going to have, remember, just make sure you have like the preview and another tab so we can start seeing everything. And we'll refresh and see what's going on there. I'm also just going to get in the habit of keeping the console open to make sure if there's any issues popping up, it'll let me know here. Alright, so we're going to start with our header, H1. So go ahead and make sure you please keep this here. Some people are deleting that, causes your JavaScript to not run. And make sure you have like all the stuff stays up here. The only part where you're writing right now is right under the body over here. So we'll make H1, I'll make this bigger so you guys can look at it. Okay, so the title of this is the Magic 8 Ball. Close that header. Second header, remember just kind of put in who it's by, put your name. Alright, so we'll put in some kind of instructions. Again, this is, remember that I'm going to code for a basic Magic 8 Ball here, but you want to customize it as much as you possibly want. So the instructions could be different here. So I'm going to write your instructions of type your question below, and I will look into the future to answer it. So again, you can have the different instructions like I will predict your future because I know everything or something like that. Like it doesn't have to be exactly what I have. Make it your own, customize it. Right. So we have paragraph. Okay. The next part is the input, right? Input means where someone could write in a statement or whatever. They could put in something. So we want an input section. Let's also give it the type. Is the type of input it's going to be text that people can write in their question. And then there will be a button that like they can click when they're done typing in their question. Then they can like press shake or they want to see their answer. So we're gonna say shake like how you shake a Magic 8 Ball. I hope you guys know what a Magic 8 Ball is. It might be something you don't know, but a Magic 8 Ball. I'll show you what it looks like. 8 Ball is like this. So like it looks like this. I don't know if everyone knows it. It looks like this thing. And people used to share, it would just be like some random thing you would ask questions and then it would give you like an answer. So we're just going to make one like that. Alright, so to go back to this, so a button ID, we're going to give it the ID of shake. And the text will be shake. And we're done with talking about that button. So we're giving an ID, and there's going to be a button that says shake. Alright, let's put in also a paragraph. So the part for the button is that we just want to, for the answer where it's going to give an answer. So I'll give this ID, this is the answer it's going to give. We just want to leave a space. So this thing is called a non-breaking space. See, let's call that a non-breaking space. So it won't put something into another line. It'll put a space and then leave it open to put text for what the answer to the Magic 8 Ball would be. So far we should have, let's see what it looks like. So right now we just have text, type your question below, and this input is where we can put in the question. Alright, now we're going to go on to the styling. So I want to style, so I want everything, every section or every box or whatever, let's talk, the star tells me I can indicate all the boxes to have a certain box sizing. You did this in the other one, called border box. That means like all the padding and the margins are within the width that we're going to indicate for the divs. I just want to show you what that means. Like when we do box sizing, like if this didn't have box sizing, then this is a width of 300 and it doesn't include the margin, but this is also a width of 300, but it would include like the margin and the padding here. It would make it bigger div, so we don't have to worry about like thinking about what the width should be when you add in the padding and everything. So we just want to keep padding in here, within that div. So that's what this is doing, the box sizing. Alright, and we're gonna make everything, again, star means like for everything on the whole page, I want this to apply. I also want this I'm just gonna say I want the font for everything to be sans serif. Again, this is stuff that you can customize. It could be your own, pick whatever fonts you want for different things. It doesn't have to be for everything. Alright, body. Go with just gray background. Let's run it and see what it looks like so far. So I'm just putting a gray background again. Put your own background. You could put like a picture for the background. You could put a GIF. You could put something interesting or a different color. Let's go. So what we're going to style the div. So the height, we'll make it about 600. The width, oops. The width for the div we'll have about 600, and again that'll include like the padding and everything. Black. Color of the text we'll have is white since it's on a black background. So they're making like a black 8-ball. Text align center. Border radius, since we want it to be a round circle. Look, right now it's just oh yeah, we don't have it yet. But since we want it to be a round circle, it's going to be 100%, so it'll just be completely round. And the padding, make it 70 px. Let me just see what it looks like so far. Oh, so something's off. Let's see. Oh, because I didn't specify my div before, did I? I forgot to specify div. Make sure that this is your div here. Sorry, this is a div right before your header, and then at the end should close the div. There we go. Make sure all the text is in the div, because right now nothing's appearing. And now when I refresh it, now it's applying all the styling to that specific div for that container. Alright, let's go back to styling. So padding, alright, margin, auto, margin top. So I want the, move it down a little, 50 pixels, because I kind of want it more in the center, so I'm going to kind of move it down. So now move the whole div down. And then I'll put a box shadow. Let's see, since I still want it. Black box shadow. I mean a gray one, it'll be gray in the back. Alright. I think you can kind of see it there. Alright. And as for the input box, let's see what it looks like right now. Alright, well, I can make it a bigger width. Let's see. The height, let's make it bigger so it's just kind of more obvious. Alright, there, that's like giant. I can make it, again, play around with the settings you want, play around with the sizes of what you would like it to look like. So let's just make it all centered now. And then maybe I would probably want to make it bigger actually. Oh, well, let's make the margins auto. Then it'll center it. There we go. And margin bottom. Let's see if I put it here at the bottom. There, like I just want like this to be spaced away from the button. So again, you can space it out more. You can move this more down. You can space out the buttons. Again, style it the way that makes sense to you. Alright, we're going to move on to the important part of the JavaScript to make. Now it's going to be the part where I can interact with it, because right now nothing happens when I push this button. So, and you could go and also something you do is style the button like we did in previous, in like the robot responder. So you can go ahead and style the buttons also. It's up to you. Alright, so let's go to JavaScript. Okay, so in the JavaScript, what you definitely need to have open is the toolbox. There are some new things in the toolbox, and we'll get into them in a little bit. So let's start with the first part. Let's just identify some variables. So we want shake to be again, you can use document query selector here still. And I will rename the variable to be shake. And remember, I used the ID shake already for here for this button, so I'm referring to that. So I will put in the ID shake. Alright, and then let's let answer. I'm going to use a new one, and then we have the other one. The other ID we were referring to here is answer. That's for like the input space. I mean, no, sorry, that's what's going to be displayed when we hit the button. So let's put let answer equal hashtag answer. Selecting that part. We created our two variables here. All right, so now we got to add an event listener. So let's go get our event listener here. Copy and paste it. I'm going to say shake dot add event listener. The event type again is a click function. So when we click it, what's going to happen? Because your procedure goes here. So this is the part where we're going to kind of we're going to create this thing called like where we pick a random. So what we want to do is have something pick a random number. Like we want it to be random, right? Like when we click on this, we want it to give us a random answer. So there's a thing called, I'll show you here, generate a random number here. That's what we want. So we're going to generate a random number. So we want to generate a random number, and we want like it to pick that option. So let's put a tab so you make sure that's like under here. We also have to identify like a variable for this. So let's call this let random number equal this generate number. This is like a function. We want something that's generating a number, and I'm going to just pick a minimum number from 1 to 4. So it wants it to pick one of these options. For this function to also work, we need to indicate this function in the beginning. So we go to our toolbox, and this function is here. The purpose of this whole section is to create a random number function. A function is like something that I can perform. This tool. So I'm going to copy this whole thing. Please make sure you copy all from 42 to 46. So you got function generate. So this function is telling us that it's going to generate a random number from the minimum number that you put in to the maximum number that you put in. So we picked for the minimum number for 1 to 4. when you style your own, maybe you're going to add more options. If you want a 4 on this project to show me that you know how to add more options, you can do like 1 to 6 option, 1 to 7, like so it could give you multiple choices. So put in this function up here. It's telling us the ranges from the maximum number to the minimum number, and it's just gonna return the minimum number. Okay, so there's like a bunch of stuff with the function here that you don't have to worry about, but you have it all here. All right. Now we'll copy our conditional statement. So the conditional, this is the newest part, and this is what you should focus on trying to understand. This is an if statement. And if statements from line 52 to 60. Oops, I didn't do that. So we're gonna paste it here. And I also want, let me just go first. When I put this all here, I actually want to make sure to show that it's under, just for in terms of formatting, put it under this event listener. So I'm going to tab so that it's all under this event listener, so I know it belongs to this. All right, let's read what this is saying. It says if this condition goes here, if this something happens, what's going to be the result? If something happens, what's going to be the result? And if not any of those things, what should happen? So let's say I have one option that says, and then again, the condition goes in these parentheses. If random number, not random, random number, the random number we defined up here, remember it generated a random number. If that random number, 2 equal signs, if it equals 1, if it's equivalent to 1, what do I want to happen? I could delete this comment now, but, well, I want the answer, remember answer refers to the whatever the 8 ball is going to put out. I want the answer to change the HTML to not just that space. I'll say like one of the options for the magic 8 ball is like it'll say yes, definitely, for whatever question is asked. And now, so there's three other choices I need to make since there's 1 through 4. Let's see. So the next one is if the random number this time is equal to 2, I'll make that option be, it'll change the answer to the, it'll output an answer to the text to the user, as maybe I'll change it to no, certainly not, to just be like, that's another option of no, certainly not. And then see, I have 2 other choices, so let's put in a 3, so I could just put in a third one. So if you want to have a full 4 on this, make sure you put in more options than the ones I'm giving, so you need to know how to put in new ones. So I'm going to put in the 3. If it equals 3, what's another option? I could just say maybe, or say ask again later. Or it could be a maybe. And then notice how we have 1, 2, 3, and technically the last thing is 4, but you can also say any other option, any other thing that happens is the else statement. So just to review a conditional statement, it's saying if this is a choice or this is what happens, then this is the result. And then for any extra additional options, you have to have an else if, else if, else if. And else is for any possible other thing that could happen. This is what it'll produce. Even if it's like nothing was entered or whatever, this is the thing that would happen in the end. So I guess the thing could encompass everything would be I refuse to answer this question. And that's just, it's going to be its go-to if it doesn't pick 1, 2, or 3. Alright, let's see what we have so far. So nothing shows as an error right now, so that's good. Let's type our question below and look into the future to answer. Will everyone finish this project? Uh-oh, no, certainly not. Alright, let's try. What if I shake it until it gives me the answer I want? I refuse to answer this question. Ask again later. No, certainly not. Oh, finally, yes, definitely. Alright, put But it looks like our magic 8 ball is working. Again, it can ask any question, and when we shake it, it gives a result. So style it, add more options, maybe like format your button, make it your own unique project.